Hello and thank you for joining us on the first edition of Journalist Hangouts. I'm Ayodele Ozugbakun. Babajide Kolade Otitoju is in the house, making his debut for the year 2020. You know, I saw you sometime around last year, and you told me emphatically that you were going to spend 3 weeks. Lo and behold, you ended up spending all your halls. You didn't even remember us, Babajide.
I remember in my prayers. I remember.
So we welcome you, BKO.
Thank you. Thank you.
After 3 weeks.
It's good to be on leave.
I saw your fan page. I saw a lot of comments. Everybody is saying they can't wait for you to be back.
Yes, but I'm sure they also realize the value of getting yourself refreshed.
Yes, sir.
You know, so and that's what I've done. I've gone to refuel.
Okay.
Like an American air tanker. You know, the same way the Israelis refueled when they were bombing Iraq in 1981. And thank God for the bombing of Iraq. We do not have a country in the Middle East that has nuclear capability as we speak.
And Wale Ade is also in the building. Wale, yeah. Now, today on the program, Supreme Court affirms Ganduje as duly elected governor of Kano State as Tambuwal Muhammad Otom survive. Southwest governor insists they will not be blackmailed over Amotekun security initiative as Atiku orders back outfits. Nigerians condemn Governor Wiki for derogatory comments on traditional rulers in a viral video. And later on the show, Liverpool beat Manchester United to 16 points clear on the EPL League. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Wale Adeoye. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. We'll start on this light note. He is two-time heavyweight champion of the world, but Nigerian-born British boxer Anthony Joshua, they call him Anthony Olasheni Joshua, is one who constantly connects with his roots. Joshua set tongues wagging last week when he prostrated for President Muhammadu Buhari in London. Let's share the moment with you.
I started doing my own research on a lot of the connections between Africa as a whole, as a continent, not just countries. I know we're Nigeria focused, but Africa as a whole, because we're one people to a certain degree, and it's amazing to hear what I'm connected with. So even though I'm running my own track in boxing, to sit here amongst you great people, Your Excellency, and to listen to some of the achievements and visions that you have for Nigeria makes me feel proud. And I do strongly feel for us kids in the UK that I've swayed a bit from our heritage and our culture. If you want to know where you're going, you have to know where you're coming from. I really strongly believe that.
I actually promised Honorable Akbike Dabiri I was going to do this to showcase our culture, and that's the chairman of Diaspora Commission. Babajide, Yoruba people will say Iwariri Leshoenio, and at that point in time when I saw this, I was really touched.
Yes, I was really impressed, and I remember one of my friends on Facebook, Mrs. Ochene Opalua, saying the person who brought up Joshua has done an excellent job of bringing someone up. Because if this boy was based in the UK and he still behaves like a real culture ambassador of our country,
Shagamites,
then you know that this is someone who was properly raised. When you're properly raised, you know how to greet elders. You know, you don't stand ramrod straight before an old man. Whether that old man is the president or it doesn't matter. But he greeted the president the way a well-brought-up boy is expected to greet a grandfather. You know, so
Wale,
I'm impressed.
That's one of the beauty of they call them Omoluabi.
Yes, I think it's consistent with Joshua's posture, even in victory. you see the way, you know, we embrace his opponent, you know, not in a very arrogant manner. So I think it has to do with parentage, and it's quite impressive. I think he's a great ambassador of Africa, and he should be encouraged.
Now, the tension generated before the Supreme Court verdict on 4 governorship appeals is now punctured, and we are back to the basis. The appeals regarding the election of Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano, Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi, and Samuel Yotom of Benue State were all resolved in favor of the incumbents. Ganduje was the first to be left off the hook when the 7-man panel of the Apex Courts, headed by Chief Justice of Nigeria, that's Tanko Mohammed, dismissed the appeal by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Abba Yusuf. Imagine, last week, it was really, really tough. The tension was high. But a lot of Nigerians, they were talking about Tambuwal and the governor of Sokoto State and maybe the Benue State, that they are counting down. As of yesterday, I thought the fate of Tambuwal, the fate that befell Emeka Ihedioha was going to befall Tambuwal. But, you know, in law, anything can happen.
Well, it depends on the facts before the judges. I saw people making all kinds of posts, looking at the margin of victory, you know, Tambuwal's victory, looking at the margin of Kauran Bauchi, Bala Mohammed's victory over the APC candidate, and looking at the margin of Oton's victory, you know, compared to the number of cancelled votes. And I'm like, our people are trying to give the impression that it is now a crime to cancel votes. If votes are illegally acquired, the organizer of the election has all the powers in the world to cancel those votes. So the fact that votes that were not recorded in Hope Uzodima's favor were eventually given to him did not mean that in all situations, in all cases,
it applies
that the matter will be resolved in a similar manner. It doesn't matter. Tambuwal defeated his opponent by, I think, 342 votes or so. But it doesn't matter. If he validly defeated him, even with 1 vote, then he deserves to continue as governor. So when I saw those things and the predictions that were being made, that, oh, Tambuwal is going home, this person is going home, I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? The judges would decide based on the facts before them, based on the evidence before them, based on what you pleaded, you know, based on what the appellant pleaded before them. So this is the thing.
I think you spoke about this, the Sokoto battle earlier. Let's my producer just place the tape back, and we'll be right back.
One will now also want to look at the context that all politics are local. The assembly election will be part of the governorship election. Sokoto people will vote for persons alongside parties on Saturday.
Do you agree with the line of thought of Dari?
Well, the presidential election in Sokoto can be compared to what's coming on Saturday. In the whole of the north, the performance of PDP in Sokoto was the best. They scored 41% in Sokoto, and not many people expected it. But I remember saying it here, that PDP thinks that they can take at least 40% in Sokoto, and it's down to Tambuwal's work. The margin of victory was just for Buhari against Atiku was about 130,000 in Sokoto. That is the lowest margin in the far north. That should tell you. Now, and there are those who will not vote for him, who will vote for Tambuwal. You see, Tambuwal is an incumbent governor. It's not easy to defeat an incumbent governor. In northern Nigeria, it's not easy to defeat an incumbent governor. Even if you are contesting against someone who made you. I fancy Tambuwal's chances of retaining that seat as the sitting governor.
that was okay.
Elections were cancelled in so many polling units in the state. In fact, the polling units are spread through up to 22, I think, of the 23 local governments in the state. So it's like starting, doing a fresh election. So, and that is the keenest contest we have seen so far, because the margin of Governor Tambuwal's lead is slim.
Very slim.
It's slim.
3,413.
It's very slim, and he has a lot to fight for.
Absolutely.
He has a lot to fight for. I projected that he will win, despite the fact that many people say so much about Wamako. I fancy his chances of winning the election. I still think he will win the election. I'm confident that he will win the election.
So months after, that was before, a week before the election, the governorship election, and when it went to a rerun, that was just some days to that particular rerun. Wale Adeoye, what do you make of this, those states that the Supreme Court resolved today, Kano, Sokoto, and Bauchi states?
Well, one thing we must know is that the Supreme Court has the final say. So the verdicts are irreversible. The opponents should accept. They have no option anyway. They have to accept.
It doesn't matter if you
It
are
doesn't
going
matter.
on
But
protest
if you look at what happened in Kano, the verdict has been consistent right from the lower court, the tribunal, the court of appeal. The judges overwhelmingly took the same position. And if you look at what actually happened in that state too, in Kano, you have about 100,000 plus 100,373 cancelled votes, which was more than the virgin in the first election. So when there was a rerun, Ganduje went back into the drawing board. He was able to mend fences, and he was able to use that opportunity to, to launch a comeback. So with the gap that he was able to record during the rerun election, I think that was on that basis that the Supreme Court had to, validate his election. Why the PDP was arguing that they should hinge the government on the first election that, Abba Yusuf had more votes than. So since there was a supplementary election, that was the election that the Supreme Court relied on. So I think if you look at what happened in Kano, for me, I was expecting that Ganduje will win, and I was not surprised.
That's saying that the Supreme Court is final, not because it is infallible, but it is infallible because it is final. And a lot of people, they are still reacting to what happened last week. And Imo State is still in the front burner, saying that we have protests all over town. In Imo State, people are coming out to protest. I can tell you that I saw Uche Secondus and Peter Obi around the Eagle Square today, and they've been protesting. What do you make of that verdict?
Well, I didn't attend the trials, but I know that at the appeal court, at the appeals tribunal, there was a minority judgment in favor of Hope Uzodinma. The Supreme Court judges must have felt that there was merit in the appeal court judgment. You see, politicians do all kinds of things to win. Sometimes they generate results of their own. Sometimes they do other things to win. They even kill to win. But as far as the judges were concerned, the results that Hope Uzodinma presented at the appeals tribunal and the result that a policeman affirmed was genuine. Those judges felt that the result was genuine, and they resolved the matter in favor of Hope Uzodinma. And that's not the first time. That's not the first time that will happen. So it's, there's no point crying over spilled milk. The deed has been done. The Supreme Court has given its verdict. There's nothing anyone can do about it.
Nothing.
Hope Uzodinma is governor of Imo State, at least for the next 4 years. The Supreme Court, people are asking questions, will the Supreme Court reverse itself? It's a waste of time to think that Supreme Court can refuse can refuse to go with an earlier precedent, a judgment handed down by it. You understand?
Yeah.
They may not use that judgment as precedent, but the Supreme Court will never overturn an earlier judgment that it gave. Remember people like
Anduba, I remember.
They wanted the Supreme Court to overturn its own judgment. But the Supreme Court is not an appellate court, it's a final court. So it's ridiculous to expect the Supreme Court to change its mind and say, oh, that judgment we made was wrong. The best that they can do is to not cite it in future in deciding a matter. If they realize that a mistake was made, they will not use that as precedent. That's their own way of doing it. But to expect them to say, oh, we gave this judgment, we were wrong. Now, this is another judgment on the same matter. It's not going to happen. So those who think that, even if people protest from now till Jesus Christ returns to earth, it will not change anything. That decision has been made. And I think the point has also been made with the judgment in Sokoto that it is not true that the APC was trying to use the courts to take back all of the states that it lost. It didn't take back Bauchi. It didn't take back Sokoto. It didn't take back Benue. It didn't take back Adamawa. These were states that APC was in control of them, and they lost. So it shows clearly that some of those comments were just comments made by people who are desperate to give the judiciary a bad name. And the fact has also been made that with the victory of Sokoto, which I predicted 2 times, that even if it's with 1 point or one vote, if you validly won an election, you can still win in court. Nobody will reverse your victory because the margin was narrow.
Your last take on this?
Well, we need to respect the judgment of the Supreme Court. Otherwise, we are going to have anarchy. So those who have lost out should go and prepare for the next 4 years for another election.
2023.
Yeah.
All right. It appears the dust raised over the launch of the Southwest Security Initiative, Amotekun, is rising and rising. But the initiators, the 6 Southwest governors, have insisted that they will not be blackmailed into submission over the outfits. Chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Rotimi Akeredolu, in a statement by his Commissioner for Information, that Donald Ojogo, said the initiative is neither a regional nor an ethnic agenda. He advised against divisive utterances capable of compromising the genuine intentions of the governors. Meanwhile, more Nigerians are backing the governors, including Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who said the time is ripe for the introduction of state, zonal, and community policing to complement efforts of the federal police. Babajide, is Amotekun really necessary?
Extremely necessary. Extremely necessary. And I'm happy that one of our friends from the north posted something on Twitter that instead of us to find a way to stop bandits who are moving from Niger to Zamfara to Kaduna to Katsina, killing people as if the art of killing people has become a sport, we are busy attacking people over Amotekun. I just don't understand Nigerians, especially the politicians. They are the ones who want to destroy our country. The selfishness of the Nigerian politician is legendary. I don't think you can find any place in this world where politicians are as selfish as they are in Nigeria. Because this whole thing is just politics. It's just politicizing this whole idea. Yeah. When these guys came up with the idea of Amotekun, many people supported it. The IG was firmly in the picture.
The conference in the south, in Ibadan.
Yeah. The IG was firmly in the picture. They were briefing him every step of the way. Suddenly, a few days on the eve of the launch, the IG started calling the governors, trying to prevail on them to not go ahead with the launching. something that they've briefed you, you made input.
You were part of that meeting in Ibadan.
Yes, you made input. Policemen, we have policemen. I just don't want to embarrass. There is an AIG. I can play his tape where I was saying, we thank you that this thing will really help the police, this and that. Policemen, commissioners of police, we know commissioners of police who were excited about this idea. Why should anyone be opposed to an idea that is meant to complement the efforts of the police? Are we happy with the way the security agencies have mismanaged security in our country? Just today, Boko Haram took over Damaturu, Maiduguri Road, and people were running helter-skelter. They've been on that road consistently, kidnapping people and going ahead to behead them. On Christmas Day, they beheaded people. Or have we forgotten? Not only that, look at what is happening in Kaduna State. People are now being killed as if it is a sport. And we are powerless. We are unable to do anything. Niger State, especially in the Shiroro area, is the worst in the country now in terms of security. The rate at which bandits are killing people. We thought that, okay, we finally found a solution in Katsina. But they've gone back to killing people. To the point that the secretary of the government of the state now said, oh, we are giving 48-hour ultimatum. You must come and make peace. Even in Zamfara, the bandits are still running riot. We cannot tame them. We have now resorted to making peace with criminals. In our country, they killed his daughter in this southwest. They killed the daughter of the Yoruba leader, Baba Fashoranti. Up till now, we have no clue about how to catch the people who caused that to happen. Whether that is deliberate or not deliberate, we do not know. But we deserve to be better protected in our country. And that is the vision behind Amotekun. If there are mistakes, if there are things that they need to do, as decent people, we are supposed to tell them, oh, you left this one out, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? So that they can work with the police. But that's not what we are suddenly, something that people were excited about. It took a few individuals to be bad-mouthing some of the sponsors of the thing. You can imagine if Osun State can come out with 50 vehicles as part of the 120 for the first phase. That should tell you how determined Osun is to secure his people. There is no way Governor Yetola can say that he's not fully involved in this. From the beginning, Governor Yetola was involved. Whether some governors chose not to attend it, I know a governor who was already in Ibadan before he made a U-turn.
On the day of the...
Yes, and then decided to send deputy. It doesn't matter. You are involved. From the beginning, you were involved. Lagos was involved. So if you choose to play politics with the lives of the people, we were the ones who were saying that, why can't the Southwest states come together and defeat insecurity in their states? We want them to look inwards, to find money to run their states. We want them to look inwards, to not be going to Abuja to collect so-called handouts. But we don't want them to look inward to defend their people. It's absolutely absurd. Whereas the Constitution underlines the fact that the protection of people is not in the hands of the police alone. See, neither the Constitution in section 214 to 216, or the Police Act in section 10 gives the police exclusive duty of securing lives and property. It means that the police alone have not been mandated to protect lives. Other people can protect. Even you can arrest and hand over the person that you've arrested. So what is the issue?
Now, part of the issue that the Attorney General raised, how can we ensure Amotekun does not break the law? Because we don't know their modus operandi, we don't know if they're going to carry arms. And this, the Attorney General is saying, is the exclusive preserve of the Nigerian police, or anything that has to do with any paramilitary organization has to be in the exclusive list of the federal government.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
That they can't carry arms?
That they can't carry arms.
Okay, do hunters not carry their guns? Do the police not license guns to people?
Individuals.
To individuals? Did he say that? I didn't read him say that. But if he said that, well, that's ridiculous.
But if they are going to be carrying arms...
People people acquire guns. And those guns are licensed, they do sport, killing partridges and the rest. It's permitted. There's no law that says only the police can have a gun. No. It is in fact, what the police said initially was, no, we will not permit you to carry AK-47. Because you can carry them gun.
Wale?
Well, I think it's so obvious because the Attorney General is not a court of law. The action has been committed. They have done the launching. So if the Attorney General is not happy, the next thing is to go to court. But we need to be very sensitive. You see, when this problem started in the Northeast, we were viewing those problems with contempt, that, you know, it will not spread. Gradually, it moved to Middle Belt. From Middle Belt to Northwest. Nobody ever imagined in this country that an MI will be laid and attacked. But it's happening right in our eyes. So do you now think the Southwest people should just watch and let what is happening in Northwest also be their own fate? So I think what the governors have done is proactive. And for the Attorney General to be saying that they might be misuse weapons and all that, I think it's just trying to insult the people of the Southwest. Because the police misuses arms, DSS misuses arms. What is important is training, which Amotekun, the people that are behind Amotekun have said they will train their personnel. How many people are we talking about? Each state is producing about 250, which is not even up to the entire policemen in Yanokpaja. And we are making all this noise. So, and if you look at what we are talking about, there are so many things that are happening in the Southwest now. People are trying to give a very wrong narrative that Amotekun is about, chasing herdsmen. The idea of Amotekun started in 2012 when Don wrote the strategic roadmap for Southwest. And it was born out of what was happening in Maghreb region, in Libya, in Mali, and the scholars in Southwest. I was part of the meeting. Felt, look, what is going on in Maghreb region, Mali and all that, this thing can come back to Southwest, being the economic hub of West Africa. Because once people are displaced, they will come and seek refuge, economic refuge in the Southwest. So people started talking as far back as 2011, when we never even had issue of herdsmen. And they came with that strategic document that, look, there is a need for people to be involved in the security of their own people.
I have to pay this bills. When we come back, we'll talk more. Let's take this breather. We'll be right back after this time out. It's still Journalist Hangout. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from Television Continental, and we're still looking at the controversy ranging around the establishment of Operation Amotekun. Now, Babajide, from what now? Atiku, Soyinka are in support of Amotekun. Do you think this matter will end up in the court of law? Now, even the service chiefs, they voiced their opposition to this Amotekun. And the police, IG, right now, from the body language, they're against the security initiative. So, by extension, I can say maybe the villa, ultimately.
No, let's not say that. These governors met with President Buhari over this matter. If Buhari didn't want it, a long time ago they met with the president. Why didn't the president say, no, you cannot do this? At that time.
So the Attorney General is not speaking
if someone like,
no,
it doesn't mean that every time he speaks, we can say that he's speaking for the president. He can exercise his powers to speak as the Attorney General. No, it doesn't mean that every time he says something, then it's Buhari speaking. No. We can't see it like that. We can't see it like that. You mean if someone were to interview him spontaneously, he should talk about something, so that means it's Buhari talking. No. I don't see it like that. The IG was the one piling pressure on everybody that, no, we don't want this thing. But the truth is, for a lot of our friends in the police, they think that once Amotekun comes, the support that the states used to give them, because we all know that the police is not sufficiently funded by the federal authorities. It is the states that are largely funding the police, buying equipment for them. So they felt that, with Amotekun coming now, they will not be getting the kind of support that they used to get. Just ask yourself, if Ganduje had not bought all of those vehicles that he bought for the police, everywhere, where would the police be? When was the last time they bought plenty of vehicles for the police? So the police, as they are behaving now, it's just selfish. When Obasanjo came up with the idea of merging road safety with the police, this was how the police resented the idea, and they were beating up road safety personnel all over the place. So it's just normal. But service chiefs, imagine service chiefs who have not been able to protect us. Service chiefs who are watching Boko Haram running riot. They are the ones now saying they don't want Amotekun. They should ask them, how have you protected Kaduna? Kaduna is the headquarters of kidnapping in our country now. How have they protected that place? All the entry points into Kaduna town, none of them is safe. It was on Zaria Road. It was on Zaria Road that the emir of Potiskum was attacked, and they killed his aides. Kaduna Abuja Highway, which is another road that leads into Kaduna, is not safe. You dare not drive a good car on that road. The bandits will come out and attack you. Gwari Highway, people have even abandoned that one. You know, so what are we talking about? Service chiefs should focus on their work. What's their business? You see, we bring politics into everything. What's their business with this? How does it affect them? We have a situation where Boko Haram is so bold now that they are attacking convoy of Operation Lafia Dole commander and killing his driver. You don't know what it means. If there's associated killing the driver, you know that the commander was just lucky.
It would have been scandalous.
Yeah, this would have been scandalous. And they have not stopped. They have not stopped. They are killing people, they are catching people and killing them. So instead of, Yoruba will say, instead of us to face the reality, do those things that are tangible, that are important. We are chasing shadows. This is a hefty burden of shadow chasing that we are seeing.
Living in leprosy.
Is that how we should be behaving? Secure us first. Don't get involved in this kind of thing. Secure. Have you secured us? The answer is no. Air Force personnel were slaughtered by bandits on Gwari Road. These things shouldn't even be happening. We can't deal with those problems with Amotekun that we are dealing with. We are talking about Amotekun. We challenge the governors to look for ways by which they can protect us.
As the chief security officer of the state.
You are the same people who say, oh, they are giving them the security for what do they use the money for? Now, Osun has bought more than 50
of these vehicles
from their money. Oyo has bought. You are now abusing them. You are saying those governors want to use it for politics. Where? Amotekun is meant to function under the supervision of the police. So how can you said they will use it for politics? How? In fact, I heard something ridiculous that the man with the white beard in Ondo, he wants them to quickly do it so that he can use it for his own election. Why are we like this? Why are we like this? You want a governor? In the whole of the Southwest, there is nowhere they kidnap people like Ondo State, especially Ondo North. Yeah. So you want him to simply sit down there, grinning with his white beard and not do anything about the kidnapping? Not Ilaje. The Akoko area. Yes.
The way to Abuja.
The way to Abuja.
Okay. That's true. That highway to Abuja.
So Arakune should simply fold his arms and watch his people being kidnapped. Many of these governors have paid ransom time and time again. So they know where the shoe pinches. I know a governor in the Northeast whose one of his aides was kidnapped. When they refuse to pay ransom, they say, see, they will say it's because it's not from your area. The governor had to go and find the millions to pay. So we must find a way. 23 different states, we have internal security arrangement because everyone knows that our security architecture has collapsed.
Well, but the concern, some people are just concerned that it's not really defined how this Amotekun is going to operate, what they're going to do, as it's not clearly stated out. That's why some people have been saying, no, look, it must, the framework and everything, Nigerians deserve to know.
It's presumptuous. There is a working document, even a time plan, for Amotekun. The training syllabus, including human rights training, including local international conventions, even the fact that most people that will be recruited will be graduates, the group background check. In fact, the SS people and the police are the ones that are supposed to do background checks for anyone to be recruited into Amotekun.
Really?
Yes, the authorities know these things. They know.
They're just
They know.
politicizing
They're just trying to politicize it. The cover of the governor of Ondo State was attacked. He was
Yes.
lucky. He could have
Yes.
been killed.
I remember.
So you just want him
So
to
it's
just sit
fold
down
his hand
and just be watching.
and watch until he gets killed.
We cannot resolve this issue of security unless people are involved. People that are living in local communities.
They are the ones who have the experience and they know how the knowledge of the terrain.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have said, they said, oh, that they cannot pay this and that. The governors have said we will pay minimum wage.
Which is just 30,000.
We will pay minimum
250
wage
to
to
300
these guys.
people in each state.
Look,
It's not a
look
big-
at
it's not a big amount of money.
and they were talking about even recruitment. These are easy things. They just want to say something. Recruitment. Look at a state like Ogun. Ogun has its own internal this thing now, security outfit. They call it So Safe Corps. All they need to do is, since we now have Amotekun, let these members of So Safe Corps, come integrate them into Amotekun. So in the recent, Ogun is not going to spend so much money because you have one.
Even
In
Ekiti
Lagos
State
State,
has
We have
Peace
labor.
Corps.
We have
Ekiti State has Peace Corps.
Yes,
we
so
have-
they can bring in some of those guys.
2013.
we have neighborhood watch in Lagos
Yeah,
State.
They can
Neighborhood
bring
watch.
in some
Those are the
elements
people
from
probably
the
need to
neighborhood
know.
watch. Bring them in. If you are into the thing, they will be
Don't
involved.
need to go far. All right, moving forward now. Some describe it as funny, while others think it is in utter disregard of traditional institutions. The issue in question here is the viral video showing Rivers State Governor Wiki tongue-lashing some traditional rulers for not coming to a meeting with their staff of office. Now, he also berated the royal fathers for clapping when he announced a proposed bill on the use of title of Royal Highness. Governor Wiki went further to pick out a traditional ruler of Omuma, King Oyekachi Omoawu, and upbraided him for shaking his head while he was speaking. Let's share the video with you.
How many of the traditional rulers came with their staff of office? Can you stand with their staff of office? Still have no problem. I hope you understand the implication of staff of office. I cannot be addressing you and some of you are using your ordinary walking stick when you come here. You don't know the authority it carries. You are coming for a quarterly meeting and what identifies you is your staff of office. Any person can carry any walking stick. But staff of office shows that this is a government recognized chief. So next time I'm coming to address you, and you're not with your staff of office, or you're coming to government house for a function, you carry ordinary walking stick. Then another person will have that staff of office. So that's why I say sometimes you just want something, you don't even know the implication of it. You don't know the meaning. Nobody can carry the kind of staff of office if you are not a recognized traditional ruler. So I felt this is the first time I'm saying this, and I should let you know the implication, what it means. It's not for you to take it and go and keep it in your bedroom or put it in your shrine. There are people who worship various shrines. It's for you to, when you're coming out for official function, you come with it. That differentiates you with any other ordinary chief. Like you said, that some people are answering royal highnesses who are not recognized by government, but you are also carrying ordinary walking stick that is meant for other people who are not recognized by government. You see, so we must show good example. I agree with what you have said. First, I want to tell the Attorney General to make sure that we propose a bill to the State House of Assembly. If you are not the government recognized traditional ruler, you cannot answer your royal highness. Stop clapping. You are being selfish. Don't stop clapping. It's not something to clap. It's something that should be done, which is the right thing. It's not because of you, because you won't be there forever. It's to protect the institution. So don't clap because you are there now. So this year we are going to, it will be a serious year. Anybody, stop shaking your head. Because that's sacrifice. You should stop shaking your head. You are one of those who are causing problem They gave you chieftaincy, a young boy, so you don't even know what to do with it. And then when I'm speaking, you shake your head like this. Oh, fake. Cause no problem everywhere. You just go and wear something that's bigger than you. When somebody looking for power, you would think that an elderly person, very small young man, this man. I know when I was in school, he was running around, going for errand. Now he's wearing Osman Danfodio. Then you begin to breach a protocol. He thinks that when he's shaking his head, that I will be happy. That's fake.
Vintage governor, you saw Wiki, Babajide. This in a long time I've not seen something like this.
No,
I'm sure those are the traditional rulers in River States gathered together, and the governor can be tongue lashing them like that.
He sent those traditional rulers back home with tails in between legs, because this is the height of humiliation. Whether he was talking to you directly or not, you share in the shame, because he brought them to that place and humiliated them. Yes, it makes no sense for traditional rulers to go out without their staff of office. It's not right.
But the way he was
but
putting,
there are better ways of coming across with that message. You don't have to humiliate them the way that you have done. But this is Wiki now. We all know, we know how he talks. So, but if you are abusing the governor of Bayelsa State the way you abuse him, or standing up to Shomole the way you stood up to him the other day, it's understandable. Those are fellow politicians. But the traditional institution ought to be respected. And a governor has to speak with some measure of decorum, some measure of decency, especially in public. Governor Wiki has not demonstrated that at all.
Wale, just imagine Governor Yetola addressing Oni of Ife and traditional the big kings in Osho State.
He has no respect for culture, he has no respect for tradition, and he has no respect for history. And I think those are the things that make a society, those are the values that, actually make a society what it is. I can't ever imagine a military governor talking down on traditional rulers in this way, or colonial masters. I've heard so many stories about Wiki, but I never knew he could diminish his own status to this level. I think a governor, maybe he was angry, but if you are a good leader, you don't speak in the public when you are in a state of anger. Well, it's also a lesson for the traditional rulers that they should now know how to draw the line. They should get less involved in politics. They should not allow the man to continue to humiliate them. And the only way they can do that is to keep their tradition and stop going to the government house to look for contract or some other things. So they should try to actually sit to their people, do their, defend their own heritage without allowing themselves to be used or to be humiliated by any governor. Because in a situation where you see a traditional ruler sitting in the governor's house up to 2 a.m. looking for a contract of 2 million, there's no way you will not survive this kind of humiliation. And it's surprising.
Some of them will not execute the contract.
They will not. And you'll be I'm surprised that up till now, the traditional council in Rivers, they are yet to condemn this.
Who will do that?
I would have expected that one of them would just stand up. But unfortunately, these days, the oracle that appoints some traditional rulers are not the traditional oracles, but the governor.
And some militants, even some militants eventually become traditional rulers.
So it means they have diminished the status of that tradition. That's why he could just rubbish them like that.
I don't know. The governor that the traditional ruler he was referring to direct that when we were in school, he was running around. Look at him.
He called him a boy.
He said, "It's my boy."
Even if he's a boy, he's occupying a traditional institution.
Is it because you are wearing?
Yes, no. It's that position that we must honor. We must honor that position.
You should know that in the next few years, he will no longer be there. So you should care about what happens to him after his tenure.
Now, on a lighter note, catch us if you can. This appears to be the mood in the camp of Liverpool FC of England. The English Giants have opened up a 16-point gap on the current English Premier League table after a 2-0 drubbing of Manchester United at Anfield. The Reds have garnered 64 points in their relentless run towards a first league title in 30 years. Now it appears only Liverpool can stop Liverpool. Julie, I didn't watch that match, but by the time it was the second half, when I just checked live score, and I saw 2-0, and I was like, wow, Liverpool is not joking.
Yeah, but sometimes too, it is the opponent that you blame. You don't expect Liverpool to put the ball in their own net. The strikers or the players of Manchester United were inept up front. And it's difficult to blame them when you imagine the injuries that they've suffered. Someone like Rashford, who has been doing well, is going to be away now for more than 3 months, you know. Wow. And they still have Pogba and McTominay injured. So the team that played against Liverpool relied on determination. And even when chances fell to it in the second half, because they played very well in the second half, that was why they were able to bridge the gap in terms of possession at 53-47. The first half, Liverpool ought to have scored more goals, but it didn't happen. But in the second half, they kept the Liverpool guys in check, and then the Man U boys played better. But they didn't take their chances. Look at the chance that Pereira wasted. Look at the chance that Anthony Martial wasted. You can understand that Pereira is an inferior player, so he will not take that kind of chance. It's the same kind of chance that Rashford scored against Liverpool. Rashford is the Manchester United player who scores regularly against Liverpool. And this was Liverpool's second win in 12 matches against Manchester United. So it says a lot about the current problems of Manchester United, that a team that couldn't beat Manchester United in 5 years is now leading them with about 30 points in the 30th year of their chasing the Premier League. So the Americans who came to buy Manchester United are clearly not interested in the footballing side of things. They are just out to make money off the club. And that's why they are reluctant to buy the players who can change the fortune of the club. It's just the money that they're after.
Well, when you look at the form of Liverpool right now, the Musala's, Sadio Mane's of this world, and the way they are, I don't think anything can stop them. Somebody, when it was December, before the Christmas break, we were saying that maybe it's too early to project that by May, after the Christmas, but by now, I think this is the end of
points with a game in hand.
It's only Liverpool alone that can stop Liverpool
that
now.
Defeat is significant in many ways, because if you look at the two teams, they are ancient rivals. In fact, the biggest rivals in English football. And I think it's also significant that the coming back of Salah after the injury, made a lot of difference. So the way things are going, I think Liverpool is ravaging everywhere. And I don't think, just like you have said, I think it's only Liverpool that can actually take Liverpool off the stage.
When you look at the gap now, because this reminds me, this fits. It used to be the characteristic of Sir Alex Ferguson in his years when Man U was Manchester United. By January, you can safely say that it's a done deal. Yeah. As at that time, Ferguson was in charge. By January ending, when you see the gap and everything. But now, I think it's the first four is like the game is up for Man City. The game is up for closing up the gap in whatever form, or anybody that is next to Liverpool.
No, if you want to close the gap, then you must consistently win matches. But what we have now, they can't. They keep drawing matches. The ones they don't draw, they lose. So how can you catch a team that has only recorded a draw? Against Manchester United,
yeah.
So yeah, now at this stage of the season, Liverpool has beaten every team in that division. But you can't say the same of Man City, because I think Man City will eventually come second, but it will be a huge gap. It will be similar to what happened 2 years ago when Manchester United came second to Man City, and the gap was so wide, So they need to, the chasing pack must know at this stage that they cannot catch, in terms of the consistency of Liverpool, they cannot catch them. What I want to see is whether they will be able to have an unbeaten run in the league,
And
the
match
way
up
Arsenal did.
record,
You know, because I think at this stage they are like they've won their 39 matches. I mean, they are unbeaten in 39 games, stretching back to last season. So I want to see whether at the end of this season they will still stay unbeaten. It's like that is their determination. Even when they don't play well, they manage to win. That is the mark of a very good team.
Champion. I want to thank you, Wale Adoye. Thank you so much for your contributions today. And BQ, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure our viewers will be delighted that the maestro himself, Babajide Kola De Otitoju, is back. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And you can also watch Journalist Hangouts on our platforms showing on the screen. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangouts at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Zubakon. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.